Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to end the videos to the paid request, this time from Cryptic Chance. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested requesting a review, re-review, topic, versus video game stuff, commentary, reaction, whatever the case, you can feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, usually the best bet. I also have a Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And he wanted me to talk about the 2012 film The Woman in Black, which at the end of the day, I wasn't a fan of this movie much at all. I know my friend Mike goes to speak to me in THs. He's a big fan of the film. It was like, for him, one of the better this haunted house type of films in the past 10 years. We agree to disagree. I thought it was very generic. I thought it wasn't that creepy. I thought while it did have some nice vistas, and Daniel Radcliffe trying to get out of his Harry Potter phase, he doesn't do a bad enough job. It's just, this is one of those films that you've seen so many times that really nothing about it comes off as special or unique or really that creepy or scary. It just kind of is there with, I think, a very lousy ending and really pretty boring for the most part. Now, I never saw the stuff that this was based on because this is a remake. And it's directed by James Watkins, and I should have known because he directed Eden Lake, which I'm not a fan of. I hated that movie. And this is a Hammer horror film. Now, I'm trying to think, there were other ones that when Hammer came back for a bit, I want to say one was The Resident. Don't quote me on that, with Hilary Swank and Jeffrey D. Morgan. I believe that was Hammer. But of course, back in the day, they did the stuff with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, Curse of Frankenstein, Horror of Dracula, etc. And this made a good chunk of change, good chunk of money, to the point that there was a sequel. Although I don't think the sequel did that well. But anyway, the story is Daniel Radcliffe. He's a lawyer. His wife has died, been dead for a few years, died in childbirth. Takes place in 1906. He says goodbye to his son. His son did this drawing for him. And Daniel Radcliffe's character acts like a dick. But you did not see it properly. Yeah, I saw it. I get that his wife died, but at the same time, his wife died many years ago. I get that he still has issues with it, but this is like one of the only times he interacts with his son. And he's acted like a dick. And I don't think the whole father aspect was really that best employed, because he's with his son for like 30 seconds. Then there's maybe one or two times he references his son, like he looks at his drawing, appreciates more, puts it in his pocket. There's like one other time he references it, and then he doesn't see his son till the very end of the film. So I don't think that aspect was employed as strong as it could have been. To the point it could, but I was just saying it could have just been a widower, but on the flip side, they did it because of the end of the film. Anyway, I think it would have been more interesting if his wife died in childbirth and his wife and son both died. So now both him and this creature, this woman in black, they both have kids that died way too early. And so there's a bit of this conflicting of, you need to move on. You know what, I need to move on, just like you need to move on. But I'm going to do it the right way, because you're doing the wrong way, because I don't want to be like you. We both had kids that died, and in fact I had a wife that died as well, and you've never moved on from that, and blah blah blah. I think that would have been a more interesting story, at least for me. But he's a lawyer. It's his last chance to fulfill this assignment, otherwise he's going to get fired. Your ass is fired, get the fuck out. So because he doesn't want to do that, he's made to go to this village in the middle of nowhere because some person has died and they're supposed to look at the estate. Meanwhile, this village, kids have been getting killed. I mean, the very opening scene is 3 little girls hypnotized, and they go to a window, and then slow motion, like it was a, I don't know, music video from the 90s, they jump out the window and, assuming, of course, go to their deaths. While there, you get some, I will say, there's some good looking shots. There's some nice vistas of the area. Although sometimes there's some weird uses of CG. Maybe it's not CG, but the way it's filmed. Like when he says goodbye to his son, and he gets on the train. Maybe it's not CGI fog, but it fucking looked like CGI fog. I don't know if it's just they filmed it so poorly so it looks like CGI fog, or it was CGI fog. I don't know which it was. Just as this same type of fog at the very, very end of the movie. Now, I think there's one scene in the middle that looked like more like actual fog, that looked a bit better. But again, that opening bit where he says goodbye to his son and leaves, it looked fake as fuck. I don't know what it was. Again, either the way they filmed it was wrong or something about it. Now he goes to the village, and you've seen this type of movie before. Outsider comes into a town, or in this case a village. Everybody gives him the shit heel eye. Get out of here. We don't want you here. There's a legend. Something's going on. He's killing the kids. People blame him, which is stupid because you know there's a fucking ghost lady. You know there's a woman in black. Why don't you blame her and her sorry ass? Or in fact, why don't you all fucking move? Can you move? Move. Fucking move. Y'all fucking brain dead? Just move. Can you move out of the village? Will she follow you? Or will she stay there? Just fucking move. Get the fuck out of town. Get the fuck out of Dodge. What's wrong with that? Just get the fuck out of Dodge. Can no one move? You look at movies like this. Can no one fucking move? Get your ass in and walk away. Go away. You think your kids are in danger? Some fucking crazy ass bitch in black. Fuck the bitch in black. Go back in black. Listen to some AC/DC music while you're on your way to get the fuck out of town. Of course, can't do this since 1906 because AC/DC wasn't around then. But listen to whatever the fuck you want. Listen to the thought process in your head. Get the fuck out of town. Just leave. But the town wants him to leave as he goes to the Eel Marsh house. And there's a shitload of cheap-ass jump scares. Oh my god, this sink faucet is so loud. Oh my god. Oh shit, it's a loud bird, crow, whatever. And not T. Crow from Mystery Science 3000. Just fucking annoying crow. Raven, whatever the fuck it was. Oh my god, it's a loud bird. Oh my god, it's a loud sink faucet. He's looking at something. Oh my god, someone's looking through it. And the music stings. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. That got annoying real quick. I do agree with that. My friend Mike, he did not like that as well. I agree with him on that. The fucking jump scares. The most laughable one is there's a bit where he sees like a ghost handprint, which I've seen that in so many films, the ghost handprint. But then there's a woman's reflection screaming at him. I thought that was the funniest jump scare I've seen, in the movie at least. Because he looked at it, he turns, and the woman goes, ah! It just made me laugh my ass off, I gotta say. And really not much happens for the first 40 minutes of the movie. Granted, the movie's an hour and 35 minutes. I appreciate that it's not 2 hours long, let alone 2.5 hours long like a lot of movies do, so I appreciate that. I appreciate some visuals look to it, meaning when he talks to this guy who's a landowner, who's like the only guy who's nice to him in this village, whose wife is crazed because their son died. Helps him get this guy to take him to this house, Eel Marsh house, in the middle of nowhere. And that's a good looking shot. He's on the little stagecoach thing, the carriage, I should say. He's in the carriage, stagecoach, what is this? Western. He's in the carriage, and you have this very barren landscape of snow, and it looked like snow, but just how vastly empty the area is, but it's also wet on the ground, and it has a gloomy feel to it. And then you have this one settlement in the middle of nowhere, some nice wide shots. To be easily the best looking shots in the movie. I do appreciate that. But, like I said, there's not a whole lot of other stuff going on. He looks around the house, there's some noises here and there. He thinks he hears a crash outside in the fog, but he finds the driver of the carriage. Goes back into town, there's this girl that vomits blood and dies. There's this hint of you think something's going to come about this, where he's talking about his wife, and he says that his wife sometimes feels like she's still with me. But fucking nothing's done with that. Okay, maybe the wife is another ghost. And that's why he's going to be different from the other people that visit this town and dealing with this woman in black, because it's the woman in white. How about that? It's the woman in white he feels like someone's with him, and you realize he's going to be protected by his wife, the woman in white. If the woman in black can have fucking superpowers, why not the woman in white have superpowers? Or whatever the fuck. Not super. I don't know why I think ghosts have superpowers. But I mean, ghost powers. Hypnotize and shit. Why is the woman in black able to do these things after hanging herself? I mean, you could ask that question for any haunted house movie. How, you just go with it. It is what it is. Oh yeah, why doesn't the town, just tell him? You keep saying it's his fault when you know it's not his fault. Why don't you just fucking tell him the whole goddamn truth, instead of vaguely going, it's your fault, you should have come here, and then blah, blah, blah. Just fucking tell him, spit it out. Today, Junior, just spit the shit out. Just fucking tell them. I know a lot of movies have done this, and I've liked it, but maybe this one I found nothing else to be entertained by, because Daniel Radcliffe, he's okay, but there's not a whole lot for him to really delve into acting-wise. It's just kind of him wandering around a empty house, or people telling him it's his fault, and really being a failure of a character, which I'll get to. He's a fucking failure in this movie. He fails at everything in this movie. But he looks a little bit into the house, and there's this woman named Janet, and her son Nathaniel had died, and Janet had blamed this girl Alice, her sister, whatever. Janet hanged herself. She's the woman in black, I believe. I say I believe because honestly, I lost interest, that I don't really care what the story was. You know what? I've seen this tragic story done better, and it's not the exact story, but meaning a tragic event happened. I've seen it done better in The Changeling, George C. Scott. I could go watch The Legend of Hell House with Roddy McDowell. I could go watch House on Haunted Hill. Go watch a number of other haunted house movies. Let alone movies about women, spirits. I'd go watch Darkness Falls, about the fucking Tooth Fairy. I'd rather watch that than this. He hears a noise. It's a rocking chair. He sees a figure outside. It's the lady in black in the rain. Hey, don't be out there too long. You don't get pneumonia. It's just predictable at times. Very predictable. There's a bit where he loses the light on the candle. And he's getting the match. I'm like, as soon as he does this, there's going to be a jump scare. And lo and behold, he gets the match. And there's this little kid all covered in mud. It looked like he was covered in shit. Dipped in shit. But it was supposed to be mud because the kid's dead. From Nathaniel. But it looked like he was covered in shit. They dipped him in the septic tank. Didn't mean to, you little shitter. Literally. But it was like a predictable jump scare. That's what I mean. It just... boredom and jump scares. That's really what I got out of this. boredom jump scares and me going, just fucking leave town if you hate so goddamn badly. So other than him looking around finding info, like I said, you have the one kid who vomits blood a little bit and dies. You have one kid, there's a fire, and there's another positive I will say. This was a well-shot scene where Daniel Radcliffe tries to save her, fails yet again, and the woman in black controls these kids to end their own lives, or to kill them, or get them dead any way she wants. So the girl throws the fire on her, and it's a nice looking effect, as in, it makes me wonder how they did this, because a lot of times fire can look really fake if you use it with CGI. This didn't look like CGI fire, it looked like real fire, with the way it moved. And you have like real fire in the foreground, and I'm sitting there going, I wonder how they did that shot. That's actually a pretty damn good looking shot, which makes you crazy that the fog doesn't look better at the very end and very beginning of the movie. But that shot looks good. And you find that clip on YouTube. I'm like, wow, that looks pretty good. I wonder how they did that. So the vistas of some of the wide shots, that scene, and Daniel Radcliffe being okay, those are the only three positives I give for it. The rest of it, like I said, it's a predictable, generic movie that you've seen, done better, even in recent years. The first Insidious, because I haven't seen the sequels. The two, I don't like The Conjuring 3, but the first two Conjuring films, way better than this. I mean, it's not a haunted house, but even these villainous creatures like Malignant, I thought was a lot better, and Darkness Falls I liked a lot more, found more entertaining, and just, whether haunted house or whether it be this vengeful spirit, ghost, or creature trying to kill because of what has been done to in the past, just a lot of others are either more creepy or more entertaining or both. They took her boy away, now she takes us. Also, they have these ghost children once in a while. Now, are these ghost children just under the control, I guess, of the woman in black, and they can never pass over, they can never... But then, really not much of the story is done with that. Like, is there a way to get these children free? And they're not even used that much in terms of whether scares or creepiness, or is she now going to try to attack the adults as well now that she's gotten the kids, or no. And then the whole third act is completely pointless because they get the idea, well, let's find this girl's boy, Nathaniel's, which they do. They put the body seemingly to rest, and they accomplish nothing. They leave, they just assume, oh, she's gone. They just assume it. There's no proof of it. They just dumbly assume it. And then as soon as they leave, there's a voice going, never forgive, I'll never forgive, I'll never forgive. And so he gets to his son who's arriving on the train. He doesn't watch his kid. Why the fuck do you want to watch your kid when you just dealt with this bitch that is killing kids? I'd be watching my kid 24/7 for the next 14 days. But no, he's fucking around, and then his kid's on the track. Spoiler alert. He tries to save the kid. They both get hit by the train. And even though the woman in black was successful, because that's what she wanted the kid to die. She controlled the kid, hypnotized him, got on the track. Not only did he die, but she got a 2-for-1 special. She got 2 pieces in a biscuit. She got 2 for 1. She got Daniel and the kid. But then for some reason, while these other kids die from her hand and they're with her, for some reason this kid, I guess just because Daniel Radcliffe is there, holding the ghost kid, I don't know what the rules are in this fucking ghost universe. She succeeded by just because he's there. And then also, the kid's like, who's that lady? probably make you think it's the woman in black, but they turn and it's the mom, the wife. So granted, Daniel Radcliffe will be happier because they're now going to join together in heaven as they walk away into CGI fucking fog. It looked like CGI fog. If it wasn't, then it was shot poorly. As the woman in black watches, probably as confused as I am. What the fuck? I killed him. Didn't I win? I killed that kid. Just like I killed these other kids. So I guess what had to happen was these kids, the parents had to die along with them, and then the kids' souls would be saved? I don't know. But, and also, I guess Daniel's like, well, fuck it, I'm dead. I got my kid, my wife. Fuck them other kids who are under the woman black spell. I don't know. It doesn't really make... They both die. They're not part of the evil Ghost Brigade over there. And... yeah, why the boy doesn't go with them is because... Daniel died. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Just because. Just because. So... and he's a failure. Like, Daniel Radcliffe's character is a fucking failure. Just people go, what do you mean by that? He went there to do a job. I guess he didn't fail in doing his job, but there's the one girl who had too much lie. She puked blood, she died, failed her. Tried to save the girl in the burning house, failed her because she died. Oh, I'm going to stop the woman black and dig up this kid. That didn't do anything, so that was a failure. Tries to save his boy on the tracks, he dies too. They both die, so he's a failure on that. So he got into heaven by being a complete, utter fucking failure. Thank God you're a failure, because your prize was you get to be in heaven with your wife and your kid. Okay, so I guess the lesson is if you're a failure, you'll have everlasting happiness in heaven. That's the crux of the story. Be a fucking failure. Get you and your boy killed because you turn and watch his ass and you just assume the woman in black would stop just being an idiot, and you got you and your boy killed on the tracks. Granted, he tried to save the boy, so it is courageous. But as I said, I don't feel a strong bond between father and son because we just saw the son at the very, very beginning and he referenced the kid like twice. So there's not really a strong bond between those two. So it didn't have as much of an impact or strong feel. And okay, if this woman, his wife, Ghost, was she there with him the whole time? Like, what if the boy, he's trying to save the boy, and then you think the boy's killed, but the boy's safe, and the woman black's pissed off, going, what the fuck? And you realize this boy's under someone else's protection, and it's the mom, the woman in white. And the woman in white pretty much saying, leave us the fuck alone, or you don't have to deal with me. And try to have a story about a guy that's got to overcome the death of his wife because you have your son, and have build up more of a rapport with him and his son, build up more of this family dynamic and all that stuff. But no, that's not what the story is. So it just, again, cheap jump scares, generic plot, lousy ending. Stuff you've seen many, many times before, and that's pretty much it. So I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't think it was that creepy or scary either. I can't think of any scenes that I thought were creepy. Maybe I've just seen too many movies, I don't know. But you know, whether they're creepy, I think of stuff in Session 9, I think of stuff in Jacob's Ladder, the original, I think of movies of that nature. Just nothing that stands out except those annoying jump scares. But with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.